Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla. All right, good morning. This is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. You know, I was like 30 minutes into that live stream, and I got booted the hell off. What the hell? I'm just talking, I'm just going. I am so sorry, guys. I guess what happened was I was playing that Rihanna video, and I was doing the whole critique of her Super Bowl halftime show, and I guess we're not allowed to play that in its entirety. So I do apologize to everybody that was rocking along with me, because I mean she was getting down. Rihanna was getting down, and next thing I know, they pulled my behind. What's up, hybrid? I am so sorry. I mean, I don't know what happened. I was like in the middle of that live stream and they pulled me. Please let me know as you come in here if I'm echoing, if there's any problem with the audio and I can fix it in the door. Let me know if you can hear me at all. As a matter of fact, hold on. Okay, can you hear me at all? Am I echoing on this one? Okay, wait a minute. Is this better? Is there an echo? Oh, okay, cool. Thank you, hybrid. I appreciate that. Okay. All right. Hybrid says I just have to pause it and also do commentary. You know what? I think I'm gonna try to do it again. Guys, I'm gonna try to do it again and be on the safe side, okay? Because I was really rocking and rolling. I really wanted to show you the differences between Rihanna's her concert and Michael Jackson's concert, because there were so many haters. I mean, I want to do my girl Riri some justice, y'all, because it was so many haters coming out talking about that lackluster performance. Oh, she could have done way better than that. And I'm just like, okay, what do you guys expect from a woman that is performing while pregnant? She's not going to do any backflips. She's not going to drop it like it's hot and twerk, I hope. I really hope that she wouldn't be twerking on stage and she's pregnant. I mean, I think the performance that Rihanna put on was amazing, especially for a woman pregnant. And it was family friendly. There was no wardrobe malfunctions. There was nobody, completely naked or, twerking or, doing any of that stuff. She had a clean, solid performance. And people are sitting up here saying that it was nothing. And I literally want to compare it to when Michael Jackson did his Super Bowl performance back in 1993. He stood there on that stage for a full 3 minutes. I want to show this to you. I hope that they don't pull my video again. But I want to show you how the king of pop stood for 3 minutes straight, lip singing to Heal the World, and nobody said nothing about a lackluster performance. So I just want to compare and contrast. But before I do that, yes, right, hybrid, we did not deserve a performance from her. Okay. Hybrid says we did not deserve a performance from her. I was happy to see her share her moment with us, and she was probably in pain and everything. Exactly. And people are sitting up here talking about Rihanna could have did a much better job, and oh my god, what is that, her belly, like why is she showing us her belly? I mean, they were ripping her apart. They could not wait to rip her apart. So I want to do my girl Rihanna some justice, but before I do that, I do have some other things that I want to talk about, and then I'm going to get into the Stephen A. Smith conversation because I want to also compare that and contrast it to Whitaker when he made the statement about single mothers. Because see, Stephen A. Smith did a much better job of representing black men when he described how he grew up with a deadbeat father and how he described how his mother, worked very hard, to she basically stepped up when his father did not step up. And so I want to compare and contrast him to Whitaker when he was sitting up here blaming everything on single mothers and it's not the fault of the absent fathers and yada yada yada. What's up, Can't Hide? Yay, I love you. I love when all my regulars come in. She says, I'm listening. Thank you. And I'm sorry, I didn't get a chance to see the comments in the last video. So if you guys were there, I trust and believe I was just all into that video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play snippets of it this time, and then I'm going to stop and do commentary. So that way they're not going to pull my video, hopefully. So we're going to do this again, and I'm going to try to present you guys with a better show this time. So sorry about that, okay? But let me know if they yank me again, because maybe I can't play the video at all. I don't know. So without further ado, I just wanted to go into my community tab. I wanted to share something with you because it's some pretty I don't know what it is, but some of y'all need to get a life, okay? Some of y'all come on here and y'all mean and you're upset and you go to my community tab and you want to unload your nonsense on me and all this other stuff. So I wanted to share my community tab with you guys. I post a lot of stuff. I post a lot of stuff about health and fitness. But here's the post that I'm talking about. Okay, so I posted this on my community tab, okay? This is a picture of Martin and Gina back in 1992. They're looking young. They were on that popular hit show, Martin, my end. So I like the show Martin. I like Martin and I like Gina. And I thought this was a funny post because I didn't make this post by the way. Okay. Someone else made the post and I just reposted it. But I wrote at the top, Black don't crack, it can swell up. That is not mine. Okay. That was part of this post. And I thought it was funny. So I posted it. Okay, now I want you guys to peep, one of the comments down here that I got. Okay, yeah, here it is. See, that's not mine. This was part of the post. Black don't crack, but it can swell up. And I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny. So you got the picture of Martin and Gina when they were young, and you got a picture of them when they're older. And people were all into their feelings, like, oh, this picture is Photoshop, and but this one, oh my God, look at this one particular comment. I don't know if you guys can see it. I can't magnify it, but this woman comes in here with her anger, her vitriol. She goes, oh, this is definitely photoshopped, exclamation mark. All you have to do is look at everything else in the picture other than their faces. It's all stretched out. The desperation for comments and likes. Ooh. Like, okay. Y'all, okay. This was supposed to be funny. This was not, first of all, nobody is posting anything to their community tab for comments and likes. We don't get paid for anything that's on our community tabs. It was just a funny meme. Some of y'all need to, go and go. Here's what I'm going to suggest, because I know that these are depressing times, and some of y'all, y'all don't y'all going through some things. We got a rent crisis and everything. I would suggest going to the vitamin store. They got a vitamin aisle in every grocery store. Walmart has a vitamin aisle. There's a pill called B1. B1 is a pill that can help you, with depression, help boost your mood. Some of y'all need to go and take that B1 pill before y'all get online. Y'all need to chill. The B1 is literally a chill pill. Seriously. Seriously, it does have that effect. It can help you with your depression and all that good stuff. So when you get on here all depressed, all mad, all evil, and you come to the Faith Factor channel and you like, there go that bitch Faith, let me just unload my shit on her. Okay? Man. Right, can't have, they just miserable. Just miserable for no goddamn reason. Like, what the hell is wrong with some of y'all? But anyway, I just thought that I would come on here and just tell y'all, hey, take a chill pill. Some of y'all need to take a chill pill for real. But anyway, y'all, I really wanted to get into that Rihanna performance before I talk about the main thing that I came here to talk about, and that is the Stephen A. Smith comment about growing up and just able to excel in spite of a deadbeat dad bringing him down. So I wanted to show that clip as well. So let me go ahead. I'm going to say fair use. Hold on a second. Let me get my banner. God damn, you got to create these banners and stuff, because YouTube going, god damn it, pull your shit. Fair use, motherfuckers. Fair use. All right, so I got my fair use up here, y'all. Hopefully that'll help. But I'm gonna play the video, pause in between, and hopefully we can get through it. Okay. But let me go ahead and go back to my share screen real quick. Okay, so I'm gonna share. This time we're gonna tread lightly, y'all. Let me know.
The National Football League welcomes you to the Apple Music Super Bowl 57 halftime show.
Okay, and can we just say Riri looking cute as hell in her red jumpsuit, y'all. I don't know if that's a jumpsuit, but look at how cute she looks up there on that stage. I mean, she got the jumpsuit going, got the ponytail going, got the two little sideburns. It's not sideburns, but I don't know what you call them, but she looking cute as hell. And the lyrics, I'm talking about the vocals. People were saying that she was lip singing. I don't think that she was lip singing. Her vocals were on point, y'all. People, y'all got to stop hating. Take a chill pill. Take the V. Everybody go get the B1 pill before y'all go and view anything. Some of y'all just wake up hating. Y'all woke up hating. But anyway, let me go ahead and press play. All right, I'm gonna fast forward. Look at this. Look at this performance, y'all. You can't tell me that my girl Riri wasn't doing her thing. Now, come on, y'all. She got dancers on pedestals. She's on the pedestal. They're going up and down in the ceiling. Y'all can't tell me that she didn't put some work into this halftime show. So I'm just sitting up here. I'm confused. I'm confused. Okay, Hybrid says she was singing over the record. Yeah, but I heard her singing. See, I don't get it. I don't get what people were saying about her performance being subpar. She could have done better. This woman is visibly pregnant over here. Visibly pregnant. Look at that belly. For a pregnant woman, I think she did a damn good show, but I'm going to go ahead and continue, y'all. Let me continue to hit play. Look at that. Okay, so she pregnant. So she pregnant, y'all. And she dancing on the stage with her background dancers. She's dancing with the background dancers and she pregnant. Come on, y'all. The nostalgia that I felt when she was playing all her old hits. The nostalgia that I felt. Yeah, Hybrid. Yes, I was screaming my ass off too. I was like, yes, go Riri. Go on, girl. Don't get down with your bad self. I was excited. But when I got online, to my dismay, my excitement was like, y'all some joy killers, some of y'all. Some of y'all just, like I said, you wake up in the morning mad. You wake up in the morning evil. Can't wait to get online and just be evil. Just can't wait. Y'all couldn't wait to tear her apart. What the hell was wrong with this performance? Can anybody tell me what was wrong with this performance? But I'm going to go ahead because, I got to stop every now and then and I got to play a little bit and I got to stop and I got to play a little bit, skip a little bit. You know what I'm talking about. So let me go ahead and skip over to, I want to go to my favorite part of her performance because she had a part here that I really, really liked. And I'm going to see if I can find it. Yes, Lord. What was that song that she was singing? Oh, they did such a good job with the choreography on that one. Okay, y'all, bear with me because I'm trying to skip through here and find my personal favorite part of the performance. Or did she transition into it already in this one? Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead. Hold on. Oh yeah, this is it right here. The Rude Boy song. Man, she did her shit with this. Look at it. I mean, she dancing, doing the choreography. Oh, I missed it. Hold on. I wanted to show the choreography on that one because that shit was so raw. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. All right, hold on. I'm gonna get my life together. Ready. Look at that shit. Look at that choreography. You can't tell me she didn't do her thing. Look at that shit. Now see, I'm gonna have to stop sharing y'all because I don't want to get bumped off. You know how they be hating on here. But okay, let's go ahead and compare and contrast this real quick to Michael Jackson's 1993 Super Bowl, the king of pop, y'all. Okay, let me go ahead and do that. And once again, I'm going to have to, stop and play and stop and play because YouTube will hate on me in a minute. Okay. So hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Let me present my share screen. Okay, so this is also in my community tab, by the way. Let me go back. All right, here we go. Community tab. Okay, here we go. This is Michael Jackson's. Hair you, motherfucker. Hair you. So I'm gonna just give King of Pop his props. He started off strong. He started off pretty strong. But notice that, he does a lot of spinning around. He ain't really moving like that. The crowd is just simply yelling and screaming because it's Michael Jackson. That's what they do. You're going to stand there for a full minute, okay? I can't play the full minute that he's standing, so I'm going to just fast forward to when he actually finally do move. Okay, this is a full 3 minutes later. 3 minutes later, he's still standing. Now he finally went action. Now see, I said y'all the 3 minutes that he was standing. It was a long time. But now he's performing, doing his Michael Jackson. And like I said, not taking anything away from Michael Jackson because he's a hell of a performer. But for this 1993 Super Bowl that he did, in case y'all can't hear me, Michael Jackson is a hell of a performer. But for this 1993 Super Bowl that he did, okay, I expected a lot from him, okay? But for the first 3 minutes of this Super Bowl show, and y'all can go to my community tab because I posted the video on my community tab. Y'all can play it there in its entirety. He stood there for a long time. Now, Rihanna came on. She, did her little pose like they do. But she ain't posed for no goddamn 2-3 minutes while the crowd was screaming and yelling and whatnot. You got full, how can I say, performance from her. You got full performance. See, Michael Jackson get away with this shit. Michael Jackson got away with this shit quite a bit when he did his performances. So I'm just comparing and contrasting. Okay, so I'm gonna go back and play. But y'all just peep. Okay, he's putting in about as much energy as Rihanna put in. He's strutting around, doing his thing, the same way Rihanna was strutting around doing her thing. No difference. No difference. Okay, so it's gonna be a lot of gyrating. You know how Michael Jackson is, you know. Okay, I want to go to this Heal the World when he was getting ready to do Heal the World. This Negro stood there for another 3 minutes. Like his whole halftime show was basically him standing there catching his breath. And he wasn't even pregnant, y'all. Okay, this is it right here. First, he did the whole "We Are the World" thing, and like while the camera is standing over the crowd, he's just standing there catching his breath, y'all. The camera is doing all the work. Like for the next 3 to 4 minutes, Michael Jackson is going to be standing there for the next 3 to 4 minutes. So yeah, I understand they got like the people in the audience, with making fans like they, making pictures like kids and stuff like that.
Today,
Great.
we stand together all around the world, joined in a common
Now he gonna
purpose
stand and
to
give a
remake
speech.
the planet into a haven
Okay, he
of
gonna
joy
give a speech.
and understanding and
Like
goodness.
I'm wondering
No
where is the
one should
action
have to
packness of
suffer,
this concert.
especially our children. This time, we must
This is Michael
succeed.
Jackson's
This is for the
1993
children of the world.
Super Bowl.
There's a place in your heart, and I know that it is love. And the place be much brighter than tomorrow. And if you
So while he's standing there doing that easy ass shit, I just want to know, how was that any different than what Rihanna did? How's that any different? Hold on a second. I think no. That's my television in the background. Okay. So he stood there, y'all, for a whole 4 minutes. So y'all can go ahead and catch that because I don't want to, get pulled down because YouTube be hating on me. But y'all, some of y'all need a chill pill. Some of y'all need a little chill pill. Y'all was hating on Rihanna's performance. This is a pregnant woman. The entire time that she was performing, from the time, because I played the video, y'all can check out her performance and compare it to the King of Pop's Super Bowl performance back in 1993. See, before people come up in here running their mouth, I want to have any of y'all ever watched any other Super Bowl performances? Okay? Have any of y'all ever experienced any other Super Bowl performances? Rihanna's performance was no better or no worse than people who had performed there at the Super Bowl in the past. I don't understand. I really don't understand what you guys wanted from her, and she's pregnant. But I thought she did a great job. I thought her vocals were on point. I thought that the performance of the dancers that she had on stage was really on point. The choreography was excellent. I think she did an outstanding job, especially with them contacting her and she's 3 months postpartum. So, I just wanted to go ahead and try to do a little bit of justice for my girl Rihanna. Tell you guys, lay off Riri. Get your mouths off Riri. Okay? The woman was pregnant during that performance, and she did a hell of a job for a woman in her condition. And that's a performance that I will rewatch over and over again. And I'm very happy for Riri. And I really wish her well, and I want to congratulate her on a job well done. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna go ahead. If nobody else gives Riri her roses and her applause, I'm gonna give Riri her roses and her applause. All right, moving right along though. I want to hurry up and get to the main thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is our boy, your boy, my boy, Stephen A. Smith. Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and pull up his photo. No, that's Martin Lawrence. My bad. No, no, no. Okay, here we go. Stephen A. Smith. There we go. All right, Stephen A. Smith. He did a very interesting interview on Fox News, where the newscaster asked him about how it was that he persevered growing up with a difficult father. And so I wanted you guys to hear what Stephen A. Smith had to say. Let me go ahead and remove that banner. Oh no, you know what? I'm gonna just keep it up there because I'm gonna play another clip. But I wanted you guys to hear what he had to say, because this is the main thing that I want to talk about in this video. And I thought it was very good because comparing what he said to what Whitaker said, when Whitaker was talking about single mothers being the problem, with those 5 police officers brutally beating and killing Tyree Nichols. And he blamed it solely on single mothers, but did not point out that there could not be any single mothers without deadbeat or absent fathers. So Stephen A. Smith came in and he had a different perspective than Whitfield. Than Whitlock. I'm calling the man everything but his real name, Whitlock. He had a different perspective than Whitlock. So let me go ahead into my community tab. I'm going to share my screen again. Let me see, which one was it on? Okay, my community tab here. Where is it? Here we go, right here. All right, so I'm going to pause that real quick and go back and share with you guys. Here we go. All right, so I got that up there, and I'm going to go ahead and play and let you guys draw your own conclusion from this interview, but I thought it was real interesting what his perspective was.
Oh. Early chapters in this. Stephen A. Smith has a new book out, Straight Shooter, a memoir of second chances and first takes. So, Stephen A., I'm going through your early chapters in this thing. This thing is a great book, but you had a very tough childhood in Hollis, Queens, and a real rough dad. How did that make you into who you are today?
Well, it elevates your level of ambition. You don't, when you have a father.
Sorry about that. That tab was blocking the video. Let me
Stephen A. Smith has a new book out, Straight Shooter, a memoir of second chances and first takes. So, Stephen A., I'm going through your early chapters in this thing. This thing is a great book, but you had a very tough childhood in Hollis, Queens, and a real rough dad. How did that make you into who you are today?
Well, it elevates your level of ambition. You don't, when you have a father that considers yourself a lost cause from the time that you're in the 3rd or the 4th grade, and not only does he feel that way, he tried to convince my mother to feel that way. That's definitely an eye-opener. There's no doubt about that. But through the grace of God and a phenomenal mom, person that I believe to be the greatest woman I've ever known, God rest her soul, along with support from other people on the outside, family, friends, and things of that nature. Your own ambition and everything else kicks in, and you recognize that you got two choices. You can lay down and do nothing and just disintegrate, or you can raise up and strive to be the best that you can be and enjoy the journey along the way, not just the finish line, but the actual journey, because things that are worth having, if it's easy, it ain't worth having. It's the tough road that makes you appreciate what you ultimately end up accomplishing.
And a lot of guys watching now had bad dads, still have bad dads. Were you trying to prove your dad wrong? Were you trying to grow into something that you could say, Dad, I'm here now? Take us through that.
Well, I was definitely trying to prove him wrong. There's no question about that. For me, my whatever level of the words that are appropriate as you continue to read the book, the animosity, the frustration, the rage at times that I may have felt towards him, it really wasn't because of me. It was because of his treatment of my mother. I'm an old-fashioned kind of dude. I'm the type of person that believes when it comes to a woman, especially if it's your wife, it's your girlfriend, it's your daughters in my case, or anybody else, you know what? If they're hungry, it's because I'm starving. I'm not comfortable unless they're comfortable. It's my responsibility as a man to provide and protect, and I put that foot forward first, and that's always been my mentality. So at a very young age, when my father had doubts, I was definitely hell-bent on proving him wrong. But as time grew on and I saw my mother struggling and suffering because of the kind of positions that he put her in, she ultimately became my ultimate source of motivation, because I knew that any success that I achieved, she was going to be a primary beneficiary of that. And as a result, she wouldn't continue to suffer the way she had to suffer by having to take the role of being the man and the woman of the household. And that was really my primary goal, to make sure that I ultimately facilitated a much, much better life for her. Yeah, it started with him and proving him wrong, but ultimately the ultimate goal was making sure that I was so successful that I would alleviate any concern she ever had in life, and that the later part of her life would be a hell of a lot better than the early stages were with him.
Well, a part of me wishes I had a terrible father, because then I'd be as rich as you are, Stephen A. But maybe that's the wrong way to think about things.
Stop.
You were a Philly guy for a while, and you were down there covering sports. That's where I grew up. We got a big game on Sunday. I need a prediction, but I don't need a biased prediction from a Philly person.
Okay, so that's pretty much the gist of it, guys. And I wanted to come back here and discuss this video with you, because I think that it was really, really good of him to acknowledge the sacrifices that his mother made for him. And I'm really, really how can I put it? Because I don't want to say it in such a bad way, but what I will say is this: people are always touting that a father in the home makes for better, for better young men. But Stephen A. Smith was saying, and he wrote this in his book, that his father was actually negative energy in his home. His father was physically and verbally abusive to his mother. He was not taking care of him and his mother financially. A lot of things happened in his home because of his father that kind of put them in poverty situations where his mother had to go out. She had to step up and be the breadwinner. She had to step up and be the mother and the father. If anything went down with him in the neighborhood where there were bullies, or anything happened to him at school, his father did not show up for him. And so he outlined that in his book. And I wanted to talk about that today, because there's so many people of the, of the impression that just having two parents in the house, for some reason or another, you all think that two parents means that the children are going to come out magically these great people. And Stephen A. Smith is a testimony that his father was his biggest hater, not his biggest motivator. So I wanted to talk about that with you guys. But hold on a second. Let me go ahead and do some things real quick. All right, guys. I wanted to close out my computer StreamYard. So I'm back again. And so good, so good, so good to see Monique Mama Max in the house. I wanted to go into this discussion with you guys because I felt that it was really important for you all to understand. On this channel, I have always talked about the environment being the most important thing, because you can have two parents in the household and that household can be toxic to a child. So in situations that I've seen growing up, I've seen kids growing up in two parent toxic households in the poor communities. And I'm gonna tell you what that looked like back in the crack era. Because back in the crack era, you had both parents in the home and you had the dads. It was usually the fathers. They're out of the home, running, chasing tail in the street, gambling. They're out there basically on drugs, because during the crack era, you know, there were a lot of black men that were strung out on that stuff. And they abandoned their whole families. So you had households where the dad was just in and out. You know, he was just kind of like drifting from place to place. And every now and then, you know, he would come back to, you know, one family, because he would have multiple families out there. Like that song, Papa Was a Rolling Stone. You saw a lot of that back in the 80s and the 90s. And I can't for the life of me understand people that put these blinders on and act as if they didn't see a lot of papas who were rolling stones back then. And that's precisely what Stephen A. Smith was describing in his book about his dad. His father was a drunk. He was abusive physically. He was abusive emotionally to his mother. Put them in situations where they were poor, having to live with people, getting evicted from place to place. And so the mother had to step up because she was suffering with his father. She didn't leave him right away, but she suffered because she had a man that wasn't no good. He was not a provider. He was not a protector. And Stephen A. Smith even said that his father, for some whatever reason or another, disliked him. His father didn't like him. And instead of his father being a parent that's going to impart wisdom to his son, raise his son to be a man, show him how a man is supposed to treat a woman, his father turned around and began to hurl his anger and his frustrations at his own failings and project that onto his own child. And this is very interesting to me because remember, a lot of black men always point the finger at black women, and they say that black women are jealous of their daughters. And they say that we encourage our daughters to be hoes and all this other stuff. We don't encourage them to be good mothers, good wives, etc., etc. But the same could be said for some black men. And I'm not going to put all black men in one category like black men like to do with black women. Stephen A. Smith's father is an example of that. He was a black man that failed at life, and he tried to project that onto his son. He told his son that he wasn't going to amount to anything, he was never going to be nothing, and it was all projection because his father wasn't shit. So because his father said to himself, because I ain't shit, you ain't gonna be shit. And he tried to instill that in his son because the child didn't like what the father was doing to the mother. And Stephen A. Smith said for a long time, his father was his motivation because he wanted to prove him wrong. For a long time, he wanted to prove to his father, who told him that he wasn't going to amount to anything, that he was something and he was somebody. Now, he said that he did get encouragement from his mother, who always believed in him, and other family members. He didn't go into what other family members he was speaking of, but he did not get that encouragement from his father, who was present in his life. His father was present in his life, but his father did not instill anything in him regarding manhood. His father encouraged him by making him bitter. But that's about it. If it wasn't for his mother being the wind beneath his wings, his mother going out working hard and making sure that the bills got paid and that they weren't tossed out from place to place, and finally usurping the father's authority because she simply had to. And this is what Stephen A. Smith outlined in his autobiography. His mother had to step up because his father would not. And see, to me, this represents a more true picture of what people in our era and our age group went through. Not saying that there weren't any good fathers that wasn't there for their children. I'm not saying that at all. But there were a lot of fathers, there were a lot of black men that pretty much abandoned their families and their homes because times got too rough for them. And that is in the Moynihan report, by the way. When I did my critique of the Moynihan report, that's exactly what the trend was. Black women having to step up, Black women put in a position where they had to be in authority because the men were not stepping up to the plate. And so Stephen A. Smith's story beautifully outlines this. And instead of being like Mr. Whitfield, who basically spat all over his single mother that raised him, Whitfield was raised by a single mother as well. And he spat all over that. And he did his mother no justice by lumping her into the same exact boat as women who were bad mothers. You got people who are just bad parents in general. You got bad fathers and you have bad mothers. Now, obviously, Mr. I keep calling him Whitfield, Whitlock, Mr. Whitlock. he turned out okay because of his single mother who raised him. So I wonder, when he was doing his critique of single mothers, did he include his mother in that critique? Probably not. A lot of these guys that come on here and they spew this venom towards Black women, they're not really angry at their mother. They're just angry at women that they can't get, even the single mothers. And so in their anger, they lump all women into the same category, and they're not thinking before they speak. Because you can't have a single mother without there being an absentee or deadbeat father. Now, apparently in Stephen A. Smith's situation, his father was always there in the picture, but his father was not providing. His father was not leading. He wasn't providing any type of leadership whatsoever. And so Stephen A. Smith had to find it within himself to want to succeed in spite of his father. And that takes a lot of self-discipline and courage. And so I'm proud of him. I'm very proud of him. But if it was not for one parent providing the nurturing, providing the provision, and providing him with the self-esteem that he needed to become the man that he is today, he probably would not have made it. At least, thank God, he had one parent that gave a damn. But no, just because a child grows up in a two-parent household, it doesn't mean that they're going to come out any better than a kid that is raised in a one-parent household. Like I said, back in the 80s especially, you still had a lot of dads in the home, but a lot of the homes were in poor communities, poor Black communities. And so you still had problems with gang violence. You still had problems with one or both parents being on drugs. And so the environment was not conducive to raising a child, even with both parents being present. So instead of just focusing on both parents being there, you could be there, you could be in the home with your kids, but that doesn't mean that you're actually raising those children. I have a family member, and her situation is exactly the way that Stephen A. Smith describes his situation. This woman, she has 3 children, and I don't want to give too much of her information away because I have friends and family that watch my channel. But I will say this: she's married, and she had all of her kids within wedlock. Okay, all of them. The father of the children, he's in the home, but she's the only one that works. She's the only one that pays bills. She's the only one that makes sure that the children get their homework done. She's the only one that's keeping the house together, cooking, cleaning, on top of working and rearing the children. What is he doing? Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. And we can sit here and pretend like we don't see households like this in our communities on a regular basis, or we can finally get real with each other and say, yeah, I know a household or two that's like that. Yeah, she puts up with it, Monique. I'm not saying that she doesn't. I'm saying that there's a lot of women that's in that situation. There's a lot of Black households that look like that, though. So there's a lot of Black women putting up with it, though. So she is not by herself, is what I'm trying to tell you. And Stephen A. Smith is not by himself in his description of how he grew up. He's not by himself. There's a lot of Black men and Black women that have stories about how their fathers was either not there at all, they don't know them, or they were there, but they weren't really, active in their lives. And then, we got people like Alpha Omega coming in here with, with all cocked up with the feelings. Because I know what studies you're talking about. And one of those studies was an actual, what do you call it? It wasn't even really a real study. It was a survey. It was an opinion survey. And where they asked men, are they good fathers? And they asked, maybe some of the people in their lives, the baby mamas, if their fathers were good fathers. And this was an opinion survey, and they had a very small group of people that they asked these questions to. And I'm going to put it to you like this. If someone came to me and asked me if I thought I was a good mother, I would say yes. Even if I wasn't a good mother, I would probably say, yeah. I cook, I clean, I study with my children, I take them to school, I eat dinner with them, I do homework with them. I would say yes to all of that. Who is going to sit up there and raise their hand and say they a bad, terrible parent? And that's the problem and the issue that I have with a lot of these opinion surveys. But now there are plenty of observational surveys, and I'm gonna tell you the difference between an opinion survey and an observational survey, because that survey that you're talking about is opinion. Now, in most observational surveys, they have completely different results, where they're observing that the fathers are not in the children's lives. They're observing that the children are suffering as a result of the fathers abandoning their families. And I don't think that simply putting the men in the household is going to fix it. Because once again, there's a lot of households, like I said, back in the early 80s and the early 90s, where the fathers were actually in the home, but they weren't actually helping in the home. So you get more and more people coming out like Stephen A. Smith, and they're illustrating how much their father was of no help to them, how much their father was a deadbeat in the home. And like I said, I'm not saying every father, but we're going to have to start acknowledging these people's experiences. And I don't subscribe to titles. I'm not a feminist. I'm not anti-feminist either. But I am pro looking at the facts. And I don't have an agenda at all on this channel. Because I do understand how people can have agendas, because you have the manosphere, and they have an agenda. They hate black women. And you have the divestors. They have an agenda. They don't like black men, and they want, black women to save themselves and go divest. They have an agenda. I don't have an agenda on this channel. As a matter of fact, I really dislike people with agendas. I hate them with a passion, because they are disingenuous, and they do come in wanting to spew discord so that they can push their agenda. I'm not pushing an agenda here. As a matter of fact, I don't care who anybody marries or procreate with. What I care about is actually having intact families that are actually functional. But I'm not going to sit up here and advocate for just two people to be in the household just to say that there's two parents there and they're toxic. Because I'm tired of that too. We got enough toxic families in our communities. We got a bunch of old men who are overly concerned with settling in with young women, and they're not caring about the children that they're making with these women. Their only concern is their penis. And we got too many women who are overly concerned with getting a bag, and their only concern is getting pregnant so they can secure the bag with a man that they think has some money. And they're not giving a damn about the children either. So if you put those two people in a household together and they have agendas other than nation building and building a functional family unit, where their reasonings with being with each other is not conducive to that, is it? I just lost a lot of folks when I just said that. So that's the reason why it's important for us to have these conversations. Right, Amanika Mama Max says, look, toxic people shouldn't be breeding. They shouldn't. They really shouldn't. But you know what's so funny, Amanika? Half of these people don't even think that they're toxic. Half of these people don't have a problem or don't even see the problem with what they're doing. You got men who are sitting over here idolizing a man that came on YouTube and bragged about having sex with a woman and her two daughters, Glenn and Cameron. You got men who are idolizing that. And they're saying that it's perfectly okay to get with somebody that's 20 and 30 years younger than them. And they're not thinking about nation building. They're just thinking about their penis. And you got women running around here obsessed, completely obsessed with being a sugar baby. You got women running around here wanting security by any means necessary. And they're bringing children into this world with men they don't really want. And they're thinking that they're winning. And they're half-ass parenting these children. I look at Amber Rose, for example. She just recently did an interview on her podcast, and she was describing a conversation that she was having with her son that she had with someone when she was out chasing the bag. And she was describing how her son is a feminist. She's raising him to be a feminist. She was describing how one day she was driving her son and his friend, I guess, to school or something like that. And the friend was asking her questions about, women and life and stuff like that. And so she asked him, the friend, what it is that, he would not like, in a woman, did he even know? And so the little boy told her, I guess they were teenagers, I'm calling them little boys, but he said, I would not want for my girlfriend to be showing her body on Instagram. And so the son was upset with this, that his friend said that to his mom, Amber Rose, because Amber Rose was on Instagram or OnlyFans. I think he said he didn't want to see his girlfriend on OnlyFans. That's what it was. And Amber Rose's son got upset about that because his mother was on OnlyFans making money. And he gonna tell the other boy, well, maybe that's what she got to do. You can't tell her what to do with her body. That's her body. And if she wants to show it on Instagram, you got to let her do that. And Amber Rose said that she had a tear come down her eye because she was so proud of her son for saying that. These are the people that are procreating now. And these are the people that's setting the next generation up for failure. And they're getting together. They're getting together. And they're wreaking havoc. They're confusing these children. These children are angry. They're confused. But like I said, I admire Stephen A. Smith because in spite of his situation, he had the strength and the wherewithal as a young man to know that he had to do better than his father. And that's a true testimony. He did not let the example that his father put before him change him into something that would have been useless in society. And look at him today. He's successful. He's rich. He's at the apex of his career. And it's no thanks to his father who was there. His mother was essentially a single parent, doing it all on her own with no help from his dad. And that's a lot of households that a lot of Black children grow up in. Monique, I don't know if the father is still alive. I know that his mother passed away. His mother is passed, but I don't know if the father is still alive. But he attributes none of his success to his father at all whatsoever. And that's very telling. Now, I will say that I have an aunt, and she raised 2 children alone. And in her home, it was a peaceful environment. She had an environment that was conducive to the children's ability to learn and grow up in an adjusted and very well adapted environment. And she was one person by herself with no man whatsoever. And she raised a son, and her son grew up to be a professional football coach. And he's doing very well in his field and in his career. Her daughter grew up to become a very successful business owner, and she's doing well in her profession and in her business. And they were both raised in the same household without 2 parents. And this is not me advocating for single parent households, by the way, but I'm just illustrating how having an environment conducive to the children developing and learning is way more important. Way more important. Because as Stephen A. Smith outlined, you can have 2 parents in the household and the environment can be toxic. And it was just by the grace of God and his own willpower that he overcame that toxic environment in spite of his father. So I'm here to tell you, when you take children out of an environment that's an environment of them growing up in poverty, if you take the children out of an environment that's an environment of them growing up seeing verbal abuse and physical abuse, and if you put them in an environment where it's loving, where it's nurturing, where it's conducive for them to learn and develop, that child will excel regardless to whether there's 2 parents in the household or not. Good morning, Sister George. So when we're sitting here and we're spewing this rhetoric back and forth with each other, and we're oversimplifying solutions, because I like that we're talking about solutions, but don't oversimplify the solution. Because we had 2 parent households back there in the 80s and the 90s. I remember them, but they were toxic for the most part. The fathers was out there getting on drugs. Some of the mothers was out there getting on drugs. And when both parents got on drugs, a lot of times the kids had to go and stay with their old grandparents who were too old to take care of them and handle them in that new environment of the crack era and the gang era. Well, you had your old grandparents sitting up here not even knowing that their grandkids are out here gang banging. So if we're gonna, talk about solutions, I would like for Black people to be real, be realistic. Because just saying that you drop children in a 2-parent household and then, wipe your hands clean, that's the solution. No. Monique says, I think it's good to have father figures, mother figures outside the home that can give advice to the children. I think it's a good thing too, Monique. At the mother figure and the father figure are two people who are not toxic, and that they have the children's best interests at heart, and you don't have people overly obsessed with getting a bag, or a man overly obsessed with sleeping with every young thing that move. Because that's what we get right now. We get a group of people that are not mentally capable, in my opinion, of raising any children because of how they conduct themselves in their own personal lives. They are not capable of being that example. It would be great if they could be that example, but you got too many people that are just, I'm sorry, that they're obsessed and worried about the wrong thing majority of the time. And these are the people that are out here procreating. They can be the uncles and the auntie to them. Yeah, and I think that's what Stephen A. Smith was saying, because he did say that he did not get that nourishment from his father, teaching them about manhood. He said he got most of that from his mother and other relatives. And I'm guessing that the other relatives might have been aunts and uncles in his case. It's a damn shame that he had to get that from other people and not his father. Let's just be clear about that. So his father was in the home, 2 parents in the home, but his father failed him because of his father's mentality, because his father was a drunk, because his father want to mess up the money and then turn around and verbally abuse his mother and him. So just dropping 2 people in the house with the kids, a lot of times it's not enough. You got to look at the mentality of these people. Are you all ready to raise children? That's what we're not asking ourselves. And I'm so glad that Black women have kind of put a freeze on having children for a lot of these Negroes, because a lot of y'all don't deserve children. You're not offering Black women marriage, first of all. And then when we do give you immortality by having your children, you turn around and you talk about Black women like a dog. And you don't help. You don't have any love for your own seed. And so these children, some of them, if they do make it and if they do excel, it was in spite of you, not because of you. Monique, according to him, his mother, according to Stephen A. Smith, it was his mother. So I'm sorry, Monique, that, he didn't, say that there was a man involved in helping him become the man that he is. He said it was his mother. And you can go back and you can listen to the clip, but he attributed a lot of who he is today for his mother. No thanks to his dad. So I'm sorry, no man, according to him, helped him get to where he is now. But there's a lot of men, Monique, that rose up in spite of being raised by a single mother, by the way. Like I said, I just gave the example of my aunt who raised a very successful son by herself. And I've never, because that's my cousin. I never saw his father, and I don't even think he knows who his father is. And in spite of that, with no man being in the picture, he turned out okay. Like I said, it has nothing to do with a man per se, even though it'd be nice to have, that example. But it has everything to do with the environment in which you raise the children in. If you raise children in a toxic environment, 9 times out of 10, you're going to produce toxic adults. That's what I think. So I would rather a child be raised by a single parent who is not toxic, who's not going to raise the children in poverty, and who's going to put them in an environment that's conducive to their learning and development, than 2 parents who are toxic, who's going to raise the children in poverty, and the environment is not going to be conducive to their development and their learning. If I just had to choose between the 2 environments, if I was a caseworker, I would place a child in that environment that was way better as far as, it being non-toxic. I wouldn't put a child in an environment just because there's 2 parents in the household and one of them happens to have a penis. If they're toxic, they're just toxic. But yeah, Stephen A. Smith said, if not for his mom, no thanks for his dad. So, I'm very, very sorry, but according to him, he did not name any man that stepped in and saved the day for him. And I know that might be hard, for some of us to believe, but yeah, children can definitely flourish in non-toxic homes absent of a man. The same way that children or daughters, little girls, can flourish in homes absent of a woman if the father is not toxic. So it goes both ways. We don't know if there were any uncles on Amanique. I'm just going by what the man said himself. It was a very brief interview, but he also wrote a book. You can get the book and you can read it, but he makes no mention of any man besides his father, who he says basically tried to tear him down from the get-go. So I just thought that was very interesting, and I wanted to bring that up. But like I said, please, watch the video. I put the video on my community tab, and I played it here in this broadcast as well. And you can kind of just, draw from your own conclusion, do your own research. But I really think that we're making a mistake when we just oversimplify the solutions. It's good that we are trying to be solution based, but if you are just oversimplifying a solution because you want to push an agenda, shame on you. Shame on you. Because agendas are not solutions. They're not. Simply dropping a kid in any household and say, hey, the mother and dad's in this household, This is going to be a great combination for raising a kid. It's got to be more than that. First of all, are the two people ready to have children? What's the mentality of the two people? There's a lot of people getting together and they ain't got no business having no kids, even under the guise of marriage. Some of these marriages that I see out here are complete and total farces. I see a lot of 80-year-olds getting married and impregnating 20-year-olds and then dying and leaving the 20-year-old to be a single mother. And so now there goes the second parent. She becomes a single mother, Amanique. Now what? So she did get married and have the child in wedlock. But now what? So like I said, we got to stop, how can I say, we got to stop buying into these narratives. We got to stop buying into these people that have these agendas. And if we're going to have solutions, we got to look at real solutions that are effective. A lot of these people are running around here with talking points, and that's it. But they don't have any effective solutions. And now with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream on that note. I want to thank everybody that stuck their head in and supported the channel. Please like the video on the way in and out because that keeps me on top. And with that, I want to say peace. I love each and every one of you. Holla.